In the last video I talked about the importance of liberating a settlement like Piaty-Hatki. And no matter how much propagandists tell us that this is not an important village with a population of 300 people, the enemy does not abandon attempts to take Piaty-Hatki back. More than 5 unsuccessful attempts have already been made. Convicts are sent in packs, but they are blown up by their own mines, killed by Ukrainian artillery and remain right there in the field. An inglorious loss of life. Nobody takes them away, nobody needs them. That's about the movements in the south, but today I'm going to talk about the eastern direction. So, there is an activation of Russian occupants in the east. But you should know a few very important things about this activation in order to understand what is happening and what to expect, without hypertrophying the correct and parsimonious information we receive from official sources. As I said in earlier videos, the east will be one of the most difficult directions to liberate. One of the most capable groups of Russian troops is currently in Luhansk region. This is the only direction where enemy units are closest to the standard configuration, and there are reasons for that. After all, the Russian command nurtured the idea of a retaliatory strike against the Kharkiv region as far back as late 2022. According to the plans of the Russian command by February 24th, their grouping should have built up its potential for a very quick breakthrough with the capture of Liman and Kupiansk. But something did not go according to plan, and the great offensive stalled in its infancy. In fact, the reason that the breakthrough was interrupted was the Ukrainian defense forces, which were ready to reflect this reflection. In addition, the offensive of the enemy forces had to be carried out from open positions, while the entire Ukrainian defense was built on closed positions. Second, the intensification of Ukrainian liberation forces in Zaporizhia and Donetsk regions forced the Russian command to make a quick, and not entirely rational decision. Intensification of combat operations along the entire A66 simulates an epic offensive, to divert attention to this section and draw off the Afu resource. According to the idea of the Russian command, the Ukrainian side, fearing a breakthrough to Lim and Kupiansk, will pull back some forces from Zaporizhia and Donetsk regions to strengthen its defense in the east, which will allow the occupants to hold their ground in the south. But it is not clear why the general staff of the Afu would do this. As I mentioned above, a similar Russian breakthrough has already been thwarted before, and all because the Ukrainian defense forces are ready for it, hence the resource required for deterrence has been formed and allocated long ago. That is, the reflection of Russian troops in the east is only for the sake of reflection. On the other hand, such reflection in a sense weakens the integrity of the occupants' own defense on the bridgehead, as well as forces them to squander a scarce resource. Therefore it is possible that as a result of these actions, the occupiers are driving themselves into a trap. Is this the first time though?